Have you ever wondered that why Malaysia, which is one of the most populous Muslim country in the world, is so far away from the Middle East, whereas the countries in between like China and India have Muslims in minority? Secondly, if the Islamic forces did not go to the Southeast Asia, then how did Islam spread in this part of the world? Whether the Islam in Malaysia is brought by Muslim traders or by Sufis, and what religion was being followed by the Malaysian people before the arrival of Islam? If you are interested in answers to these questions, then keep watching this video in which we are covering history of Islam and Muslims in Malaysia. Before diving into the history of Islam in Malaysia, let's briefly talk about the state of religion in Southeast Asia. Out of the 11 Southeast Asian countries, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Singapore are predominantly Buddhists, then Brunei, Indonesia and Malaysia are predominantly Muslim, while only Philippines and Timor are Catholic. Out of these three religions, Catholicism is the least practiced. Buddhism comes in the second place with more adherents than the Catholicism, and Islam comes in the first place with 40% total adherents around Southeast Asian countries. Consisting of two regions separated by some 640 miles of the South China Sea, Malaysia is a multi-ethnic, multi-religious federation of 13 states and 3 federal territories. Malaysia is bordered by Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia and Brunei. It has a population of 31.6 million. The largest and the national capital is Kuala Lumpur. Malays and other indigenous people of Southeast Asia, including people in Indonesia and Brunei, are called Bumiputera. The term comes from the Sanskrit, which can be translated literally as son of the land or son of the soil. Malaysia is a multicultural country with a population that currently stands at 31 million, of which approximately 60% are Muslim. Islam is constitutionally the country's official religion. However, there is a freedom of religion in Malaysia where people has a freedom to practice other religions. Malaysia, along with Indonesia and Turkey, are regarded as the most liberal and open Muslim countries. The Sharia law in Malaysia is only applicable to Muslims and is used to resolve conflicts related to creed and family matters. Malaysia is a multi-confessional and multicultural country. Almost all religions in the world such as Christianity, Islam, Hinduism and Buddhism are present in the country. Religion in Malaysia relates to the ethnicity. As a result, most Hindus are Indian, Buddhists are Chinese and Muslims are Malay. The demographics of Malaysia are represented by the multi-ethnic groups that exist in the country. The population and housing census carried out in 2010 indicate that 61.3% of Malaysians practice Islam, 19.8% Buddhism, 9.2% Christianity, 6.3% Hinduism and 1.3% traditional Chinese religion. Islam is the dominant religion in Malaysia and is the country's official religion. About 60% of the Malaysians practice this faith. Most of the Muslims' holidays are national holidays. The government in the country supports a moderate version of Sunni Islam. According to the latest study by Pew Research Center, Muslims are expected to make up 72.4% of the Malaysians' population by 2050, compared to just 60% in 2010. In numbers, this means that there would be over 32.7 million Muslims out of the projected 45.2 million population in 2050, compared to around 18 millions out of 28.4 millions in 2010. Malaysia was a prime center of the trade and commerce since the 10th century. Back then, ancient Malay kingdoms within the northern region of the peninsula were still under the Buddhist and Hindu influence. Although the first Muslim convert popped out mainly in Sumatra and Malay Peninsula somewhere in the 8th century as a result of their contact with the Arabs, Persians and Gujarati traders. However, it is believed that Islam truly arrived in Malaysia somewhere between 13th and 14th century via Arab and Indian Muslim traders. At this time, the religion was embraced by only few people. Local people seems to have converted gradually while preserving many of their pre-Islamic beliefs. For a long time, Muslims remained a minority and had to learn to rub along with the people of other faiths. Around the year 1390, a prince from Java, Parameswara, was forced to flee his homeland. Landing on the west coast of Malay, with loyal following of about 1,000 young men, the prince lived off in privacy for almost 10 years. At that time, Siam, the modern Thailand, was the imperial power in the area. Parameswara drove out the Siamese and established the town of Malacca in 1403. The name Malacca derives from the Arabic word Malakut, meaning marketplace. The Arabs had maintained a trading colony there since 8th century. Islam became widespread in the region with the arrival and conversion of the Parameswara, a Hindu prince and Singapore's last king. After accepting Islam, he changed his name to Sultan Iskandar Shah. During his prime period of success in the 15th century, Malacca became a renowned hub of Islamic studies. He invited Muslim scholars from as far away as Mecca, honored them, and encouraged the spread of Islam. Malacca became not only the hub of international trade but also a center of Islamic learning. Islam continued to flourish in the peninsula during the 15th and the 16th century, which greatly influenced the Malay lifestyle and culture and can be seen till today. The earliest evidence of the Islam in the Malaysia was discovered in Terengganu in the form of an ancient inscribed stone locally referred to as Batu Bersurat, dated 1303. The stone tablet with the Jawi Romanized Arabic script on it stands as a proof that Islam had arrived in the east coast region of the peninsula long before the Parameswara embraced Islam. Other evidence of the arrival of Islam in Malaysia include a 15th century tomb and 3 inscribed pillars in the Penggalan campus Negeri Sembilan, as well as intricately curved grave markers known locally as Batu Ek, which can be found in most states in the peninsula. The stone shapes and inscription provide important clues to the early history of Islam in the country. Islam spread in this part of the world mainly due to 3 reasons. Number 1, Islam was quite attractive for the locals as it does not validate rulers' power through the divine, and that Islam does not have any kind of a caste system. Number 2, the Sufis, the Muslim missionaries spreading the religion, also played a great factor in spreading the Islam by absorbing the local traditions into Islam, making it easier for the locals to accept Islam. Last but not the least, the rulers of the Southeast Asia embraced Islam, which further accelerated the spread of Islam in Southeast Asia. Malaysian Muslims generally follow the Shafi'i school of thought. Almost all Muslim Malaysians belong to Sunni sect. In some towns and cities, you can find Sufi brotherhood. Mosques are part of the ordinary scene in Malaysia and are as much a cultural icon as a religious one. It is also the norm to hear the azan, a call to prayer, on loudspeakers 5 times a day. On Friday, government offices and banking institutions are closed for 2 hours during the lunchtime for the Friday prayers. Islam is an integral part of the Malaysian Malay culture, so much so that many Islamic rituals and practices are associated with the Malay culture. Many words in the Malay vocabulary are borrowed from the Arabic words such as dunya and haram. It is also quite common to see Malay women wearing hijab or headscarf. Mosques in Malaysia can be found in almost every town and districts in every state. The architectural style of the mosque in Malaysia are interestingly diverse. Some are inspired by the world's greatest mosque, while others adopted the classic designs of the traditional Malay architecture. A number of the mosques in Malaysia have with Moorish style domes and minarets. Moorish architecture hails from North Africa and Spain. Characteristic elements includes mukarnas, horseshoe arches, voussoirs, domes, crenellated arches, lancet arches, ogee arches, courtyards, and decorative tile work. Some of these mosques are globally recognized for their unsurpassed beauty. Some have even made it into the list of the world's most beautiful mosques, such as the Terengganu Crystal Mosque and Perak's Ubeda Mosque. Malaysia is also a home to reputedly the oldest mosque in the region, Kampung Laut Mosque, which is believed to be at least 250 years old. Among the many Islamic tourist attractions that can be found in Malaysia are the intriguing museums showcasing the different aspects of the religion. Among those displayed are Islamic arts, Islamic heritage, and the history of Islamic civilization. A visit to these museums is an eye-opening experience. Visitors are bound to leave with a deeper understanding and a greater appreciation of Islam.
يلومونني في اشتهاء الحياة وأني للذاتها أرتوي وأني بها مغرم عاشق وقلبي بأهوائها يكتوي